Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. Oh, my darling, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender. Love. Hey, here we go. TJ's here. Cesaro's in DJ Games. FBI agent Jacob Whitford. Jonathan's back. Wolverine's in again. Krusty Bomb. Stephen Jones. Uh, Pedro Lincoln. Barry's is back. Hey, sticky stuff indeed. Yahil, Erwin, El Victor, Steve is in. CJ Fear, Tyler, Leo, Travis. Hey, what do you say? Take it away. Yeah, it's Free For All Friday. Nothing more needs to be said. So I'll just stop talking. I don't know what it is. Again, being retired, you wouldn't think that Friday has any special significance. I mean, my whole working career, of course, Friday was a big deal. It was the last day of the work week, got the weekend off and all this shit. But my schedule stays the same every day now. I get up at 5:30 and start doing things for the Goosh and the channel here every day. But still, Fridays are just cool. And I don't even know why, but I'm not going to question it. So I recently broke my single arm pull-up record, Krusty Bomb. Nice. I used to be able to do those many years ago. Back when I was boxing, I used to do a lot of them. I don't remember what the most was I ever did. I could do more with my right than my left. I know that. That's because the right gets a lot of exercise. Wolverine says Brack's abortion stream one. Port Spaz kid. Jonathan says, well, what a surprise. It's Curtis. Go figure. I'm on a train during Free For All Friday. If the train goes fast, I do apologize. Barry says, are you really? You're on a train? Oh, there's got to be some kind of glitch in the time-space continuum that would allow you to come by the tracks here at my house right now. Interesting. Travis says, over under on ERB making a Joe Biden versus Donald Trump battle. Oh, I would think that they're going to do that. I would say the over under is like a 65% certainty. I don't think they'll miss out on that one. Holy shit! Talk about two guys that give them plenty to work with. you could do Biden's whole part of the rap battle as he tries to stay focused on the fact that there is a rap battle. He just keeps wandering off stage and stuff. And what was his shit? What was the name of the kid he knew as a child that was always in trouble or something? I can't remember now. That would have been shit. Android 18 or Bulma? Streamline funny. Android 18 is cool. I like her and everything, but Bulma's a freak. I like Bulma's freakiness. See what's going on behind me here. This is sad. Spaz kid's getting ready to go back to college. I'll be a sad man come Monday. Sunday we're taking his stuff up and
back by Thanksgiving.
That's true. He's getting all his stuff together. As a matter of fact, after the stream, we're gonna start throwing some stuff in the van, getting it ready for Sunday, and him and I are gonna don't be grabbing any of the pops, bro. Yeah, I know. But just see what's in the middle there.
Yeah, no, I saw her.
Yeah, Himiko. But and then we're going over to the store to pick him up a whole bunch of snack foods. Pretty sure Abe is going to make a cameo in that battle. That would actually be cool, Ocho. That would be cool. Hey, Curtis, would you rather spend time with Saris or have $500 right now? Saris. I mean, money's great and everything, but Saris. I haven't been to Japan. English Super Boo. I really would like to go. That's number one on Spaz Kids in my list for international travel we would like to do. We're trying to make plans to do it, but my wife has fibromyalgia and she just doesn't think that she could do the plane trip to Japan. So if the day should come when I'm able to do it, it'll probably just be me and Spaz Kid. Excuse me. Throw the extra all for one as Spaz kid to find a use for it, Lifer says. Yeah, they got the he got shoved up. He's in a portion of the shelf. Well, it's way over here. You can barely see it. And you can't see him at all. He just got shoved into a corner. Until I think what I'll do is I'll find some sort of shelving system for down in here, and that'll put some more extra anime collectibles on. I haven't seen the Assassin's Creed Valhalla trailer yet. No, I haven't. Jonathan says, "Here's your net worth, $1 sign. Here's what you'll be making after the stream, $3 sign." Wolverine says, "Check last post." Rex eat all the food on Earth, still complaining he's starving. That would be more like me than him. He has a spot where he gets full. I still haven't found that yet. Chrome says, "What would suggest trying a cruise to Japan and the surrounding islands. That would probably be easier on her, or take a series of day trips leading up to Japan to give her rest time." Yeah, and maybe someday, Chrome. But as things stand right now, I couldn't budget that much time, all the time that would take to encompass a trip like that. Maybe someday. Well, thanks. Blast your ego. I like that. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm cool and everything Valhalla is. Yeah, I probably won't get to play it just because the limited time I have for playing, and I'm so right now so fixated on Minecraft, and finally. And that'll be the next the gaming live stream we do will be a Minecraft one before I go back to any more Fall Guys. I just want to get to be that ultimate. I want to be a god in my Minecraft world. I want to be decked out in all the armor that's possible. I want to go to the Nether and get the Netherite, the whole nine. But I can't stay away from creepers long enough to keep it going. And I refuse to play it anyway, other than in hardcore mode, because then it's a feeling of accomplishment if you got through it in hardcore mode. The other modes, it's like it's just a time commitment. Then in hardcore mode, there's more to it. Arthur says r/animemes banned the word trap and refused to back down, so the community got fed up and started our good animemes, and it stole 100,000 subs overnight. Wow. What the hell would you ban the word trap? Is it just more overly sensitive SJW bullshit? I mean, that's been a thing for, that way predated me coming into anime, is the concept of a trap, not being the gender that one thought you might be. So what? Jesus Christ. And if that's the reason why they banned it, I'm really glad they lost all their subs. I think that's fantastic. I hope they get devastated more. Barry says, might pass by on Amtrak heading north in New York. Oh, that's cool. If you're heading north out of the city, though, you'd have to take a western swing to get past us. That's cool. You won't be far away though. And the thing is, the trains and they have like an almost interdimensional attraction to my house. So if you're within a couple hundred miles, we can probably hear the horn. Excuse me. Brothers from Other Mother says, I hope you find a new village. Yeah, that's going to be the next thing, is go find where we want to set up. Make your wall, and maybe as a suggestion, make a castle called Castle Spaz. Yeah, that's what I want to do, brothers. That's when we get back in, because I don't like where I landed. There's that village and all the sand area and everything, and it doesn't work for me. So we're going to go on a trek. We're just going to go walking through the world until we find an area that looks like it'll be accommodating for what we want to do. And same thing, I'll start building the wall, probably put up another lava pit, start mining, and then of course a fucking creeper will show up when I'm many hours in, and then I'll start again. Next post, Arthur says, oh yes, they claimed it was transphobic despite all the trans members disagreeing. That's the thing. If you're going to be that overly sensitive, to me, my personal take on it is good. I'm glad they lost their subscribers. Good. Clean it out. people are just so overly sensitive about everything. How is that? How is that disrespectful? It illustrates a specific set of circumstances. A character that appears to be one gender and is actually another. So what? I, it is what it is. It's a fact, and it's a term that calls out that fact. I don't know. Oh, but now here, like if I were to, I'm not, but if I were to try and monetize the stream, and Susan got any wind of this conversation we're having, oh no, because Susan is a super Kamehameha SJW, not bending to the whims of a social justice mob. She doesn't approve of that. Hey, Mr. Host, good to see you. Saw 2 uplifting movies this week. The Assistant, which seems like an authentic look at what it's like to work in the office of a Harvey Weinstein type. That's cool. I heard of that one, Mr. Host. I can't place it. And Relic, that I haven't heard of. Relic, a horror movie about watching loved ones grow old and die. Yikes. As somebody who is old, Relic sounds really personally frightening to me, Mr. Host. Holy shit. I heard of The Assistant, but I never heard of Relic. Yeah, I see. And again, as I've told you guys, as far as genre, I'm in for any genre if the story is good. I think that, yeah. I think watching Loved Ones Grow Old and Die, man, that'd be a close to home hitting one. Arthur says Susan's a trap. Moneymore says trap is nothing more than a word. If you take offense to a meme, that's on you. I couldn't agree more. It's sad. It's sad that there's so much that out there, but you guys are, and I mean this sincerely, you guys are very encouraging to me because I know you guys are all, well, everybody's all younger than me, but for the most part, the vast majority of you guys are significantly younger than am I. And it gives me hope to see that some of you still have it, or most all of you have these abilities for reason and logic and understanding that not everything is an insult and not everything is meant to demean someone. Sometimes words are just words. They are descriptive in nature. And not everybody gets offended by everything. Again, it'd be like I always said, it'd be like me getting mad because somebody called me fat, but I am fat. Now, you could say they're rude for pointing it out, and they may be, but I'm not going to get mad about it. If you're going to poke fun at me because you think that the frilly pink dress that I'm wearing isn't sexy enough, well, I would disagree. I think it is. But no, I could get mad about that because I'm not wearing a frilly pink dress, although I wouldn't get mad about it. But I could. But as long as you're talking about something that's a fact, who cares? Say what you want. Gerardo says, sorry, your MHA vid. Have you got Toga? Yeah, me too. I thought for sure, Gerardo. I thought there's no way. Just knowing my luck, I didn't think I'd get her it within the first. That would have been a total of 6 I'd opened. I didn't think I'd get her. Also, tomorrow there will be 2 OVAs for MHA. Hope you get to watch it someday. Also, it's going really good. It's good to see you again, pal. I didn't know about that. 2 new OVAs for My Hero. That's cool. Yeah, My Hero. I liked it from the start. You guys know that. You've been watching along with me. I liked it from the start, but I really enjoyed this latest season. That was really good. That drew me in even more. Yeah, thanks, Seasick Viking. I was psyched. I was psyched to get Toga. I've been trying to think about it. See, I think she's my only favorite character that's a villain, but that gets a little sketchy in how you designate villain, because obviously we've also got Ceres is my favorite in Hellsing Ultimate, followed really closely by Alucard, and they're both villains and protagonists. Same things could be said for some of the characters that are my favorite in Overlord. But as far as just pure straight out villain, I mean, she is named as a villain in the series. The only favorite character I have that's a villain, I think, is Toga. I gotta keep keep thinking of through of everything I've seen. Well, you guys would know. You guys would have a suggestion if you thought there was a villain that might be my favorite in the series. Chrome says, Curtis, if a spammer is just posting a wall of E, should they be timed out or banned? I'm going to leave that to you guys. I mean, to me, that's a dick move to do no matter who's streaming on, just because it's stupid. It doesn't accomplish anything for anybody, and you're just disrupting the flow of what people want to do. If you want to give them a timeout first and just tell them, say, once more in your band, you can do that. But if you happen to be in a bad mood and you just want to shit can them. As I said, the one thing I stand by without question here is the mods and their decisions, because the moderators here have just done an incredible job, and at times during Naruto against incredible odds. So yeah, I stand behind whatever you guys want to do. If you feel that they deserve a warning, go ahead, give them a warning. If you don't, because again, that's something that's pretty common sense. Who is going to be streaming and want you to just be spamming anything in the chat? So it's just rude. It's inconsiderate. Warnings given a first offense as a timeout. Yeah, it's up to you guys. Like I said, whatever you guys want to do. I understand. Chrome says I'm just getting tired of the constant spammers. It's kind of sad to be that desperate for attention. I mean, no, I'm with you. What's your Spats Kid? Alex says, react to Screen Junkies Honest Action Home Alone video, please. I'm not looking for any reaction videos, any yeah, reaction recommendations at all. Again, we still do reaction videos, but they're not as big a part of the channel as they ever were, so I'm not really looking for any more. Yeah, Kev Curtis is Hunter x Hunter still your favorite anime? That and One Piece are right up there together. And there are, and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, to be honest with you, and it reminded me with, Full Metal Alchemist is now being sponsored over at the Goose, so I'm watching that. And that really kind of brought home to me, too, how good that was. That's right up there with them, too. And there's others. I've told you guys on a number of occasions, I'm shocked, because it's also being sponsored at the Goose, by how good Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is. God damn, that's good. Mr. Host says, also, I had an Exorcist 3 watch party with my friends last week. We had a blast. Stuff like that's a lot of fun to do in a group. It's a slept-on sequel with great acting from Brad Dourif and George C. Scott. George C. Scott was in that? I don't remember that. And I love it when writers direct stuff. Boy, Mr. Host, that's terrible. I think I saw 3, but I may not have. I always liked George C. Scott, and I don't remember that. So I might have missed 3. I know I obviously saw 1, and I know I saw 2. I don't know if I saw 3. If I watched it again, if I'd seen it, I think it would kick it in. But when you said George C. Scott, it didn't place at all. And again, he's an actor I really like, so I think I would have remembered. I think I missed 3. John Gomez, oh hi, ho, Uncle Curtis, off to the Goose we go. Willie says it gets worse because our anime memes mods are banning people who speak out against them, and they are the shit talking the community on other subreddits. Yeah, I don't know why people would even stay in a situation like that. It's so easy to be able to go over to the new subreddit that someone had just created, or just I wouldn't hang around with that shit, whiny ass bullshit like that. Don't use the word trap. Go fuck yourself. That's not berries, is it? Going by on the train? As long as berries isn't on there, fuck you, train. Anime Dolphin says, the annoying thing about these things getting banned is that it's usually not even the group of people affected by it that tries to get banned. Dolphin, you're preaching to the choir on that one, because I think I've told you guys this before. It always amazed me in the years that I was doing stand-up, and back in the late 80s, early 90s, believe it or not, my sense of humor was even more jaded and harsh than it is now. And I took that right to the stage with me. So needless to say, I said things that would be considered offensive by a lot of people. In all that time, not once did I get a complaint from somebody who was in the group about which I was talking. Because it could be anything. I think stereotypes are funny, so I might have been talking about black people, gay people, Italian people, white people. Who knows? It could have been anything. But at any point that someone had a complaint, it was always some asshole do-gooder on behalf of other people saying, I can't believe you could say that. How could you say that about a group? It's like, shut the fuck up. how did I say it? Sit right down here. I'll give you 20 more minutes of the same stuff, and maybe you can figure out how I'm saying it. But that was true. It was always somebody else. I found most people have a sense of humor, at least at that time. Most people have a sense of humor about themselves, whether it's their race, whether it's their gender, whether it's anything that's notable about them. As long as you're not, to me anyway, as long as you weren't going after somebody in specific and you were making generalities, poking fun at stereotypes, I found most people to have a good sense of humor about it. Maybe not anymore. Curtis, I know you. Punster says, Curtis, I know you forgot, so let me remind you, it's Jenna Fox. For those who don't know, a couple times in recent streams, the question has come up, who's my favorite porn star? And I can never remember her name. Well, big surprise, I can never remember her name. I remember what she looks like all over. she's gorgeous. God damn, she's a pretty girl. Henry's Vlog says, hey, Curtis, you said before that you are from older times, but mostly like modern stuff. Yeah, for the most part. But also, is there any stuff from older times that you grew up with that you're into? Love your vids, by the way. Yeah, Henry, that's a good question, actually. Yes, Henry, for some reason, and maybe it's because it was my first love, baseball. Like, not that I don't enjoy the current major league product. I really do. We've got great ball players. But I really get a feeling of sentimentality watching old video of ball games from even before I was born. You know, from anywhere as 50s, 60s, 70s. I just, for some reason, baseball really, I like the old school stuff. I love revisiting it. Wrestling too, but baseball more so. You know, I still get a kick out of, I'll go watch wrestling vids from the heroes of my childhood, Bruno Sammartino. Just the other day, I was watching an old Tony Gurria and Dean Ho match where they won the tag titles because I loved them when I was a kid as a tag team. But if you put me in front of some old footage of highlights from baseball games, or even a baseball game in its entirety on YouTube from 40, 50 years ago, I'm right there. Good question. Wolverine says, look for next post, okay? I normally avoid racial jokes unless they're about my own race. If you make jokes about your ethnicity, those are encouraged, in my opinion. Yeah, well, that's true. Well, people obviously give you the easily offended will give you much more leeway if the joke you're making relates back to you directly. You're 100% right, Wolverine. But I never concerned myself with that because, again, I wasn't attacking individuals. I was attacking stereotypes, and if people didn't like it, I didn't care then. I don't care now. But my point was very, very, again, never had any complaint from somebody in the group that I was targeting, and most people seem to have. Typically, you got the bigger laughs, like Sam made some sort of joke about black people. It seems like the black people in the audience would laugh even harder than white people in the audience. It just, most people have a sense of humor about themselves. Chrome says, well, we'll eventually put that all like any series, regardless of genre. If the story is good, when we eventually show you the anime about gay ice skaters. Well, see, that's the thing, Chrome. If the story strikes me, you'll probably be surprised because I really don't, content doesn't matter to me if the story captivates me. Now, if you go into a realm, I guess it would be fair to say that some things would be more difficult to be a good story to me because I don't have an already vested interest in it. Like Marvel Knights sponsoring Haikyuu, and he just sponsored another episode of that probably up Sunday. Now, I bring that up because it's another sports anime, but I already liked volleyball. I love sports, and even though volleyball is not something I played it in a city rec league, well over 30 years ago, so I don't have a strong attachment to it, but I still enjoy it, so it was easy to get into it. Ice skating, I've never really followed, so based on that, you'd think it'd be harder for the story to interest me. But yeah, if you got good characters and a story that I can really care about, I think I'd be on board with it. Excuse me. Willie Place says, speaking of old baseball and porn, I bet there are videos of people fucking dressed as Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe. I think I would be disappointed in the porn community if there was not, Willie. Yeah, I agree with you. That's a Rule 34 gotta have. Boku no Pico. Yeah, I mean it though. Yeah, Boku no Pico is not high on my list of things I need to see right away, but Kev says, Curtis, I would strongly recommend Reacting Parasite the maximum. It's up there with Hunter x Hunter, in my opinion. Like I say, Kev, the vast majority of what we watch comes from votes and polls over at the Goosh. So that's out of my hands. And even the ones that I put up, the series that I designate, excuse me, at the $1 level, those series, I get the inspiration to put them up there because they're ones that have been talked about a lot by the gang over at the Goosh. So it all comes from over there. I skating to the death, rated R, Mike Wheeler says. Punster says, I'm having a dilemma. My boyfriend covered me in this stuff that he himself called sticky stuff. Just sounds like he's trying to be friendly. Hey, Morgan, good to see you, hon. Kicks in the door. What's up, Uncle Curtis? Good to see you, Morgan. I'm glad you're in. Curtis smells like Irish Spring body wash. I wish I smelled that fresh. Not likely. Irish Spring, I think I told you guys that. I have a thing against Irish Spring, not because it doesn't smell good, it does. Because when I was a kid, that was still back in the days when you did something wrong, said a bad word or lied or something, you got soap put in your mouth. And needless to say, you guys know me, there's plenty of soap going around. And then they came out with Irish Spring, and that shit, oh, that's some nasty. I would much rather eat Dial or Ivory or anything over Irish Spring. Just, it didn't taste like potatoes, I'll tell you that. Now, see, we're just talking about that joke. Now, to the easily offended, I'm sure they would be very offended on the behalf of Irish people anywhere that I thought to make a generalization that they all eat potatoes. Chrome says Irish men in the spring, they don't smell particularly well. I'm sure they don't, Chrome. Me either. So I completely understand. Jeez, Lex, I have a problem against Irish Spring because I hate everything Ireland has ever produced or been responsible for. Okay, let's be fair. First of all, we all know it's not Ireland, it's Irish land. We should. That's true. That's going to tell you. So we really should get that right first. Chrome says, "Oh yeah, the new series starts tomorrow." Yeah, and I'm actually 4 episodes in watching. Really interested to see what you pick. Struggling to think of what 12 to 24 episode series you've heard a lot of. I can tell you this much: I'm 4 episodes in, and really glad that this is the one I went with. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Really good. Puncher said, when Brax did the Fall Guys stream, I was surprised that he had a face because I always see the back of his head in these streams. Yeah, that's right, Puncher. I didn't think of that. Yeah, there he is. Potato. Chrome. Morgan, have you reacted to Steins Gate? No, have not seen Steins Gate yet, Morgan. Hubby and I just binged it. We have 2 episodes left. Bro, it's in my top 5. Yeah, and I'll tell you, Morgan, that one right from the get-go, from when we first started doing the having the nominations and then a poll to decide the series, Steins Gate has been nominated every time, and gotten into every poll. So I'm thinking at some point it's going to make it. It hasn't, it's been finishing like mid-pack in the polls, but it always gets mentioned. So it means, obviously there's a lot of people that are very high on it. High on it. I'll take that, Susan. Xenogame says jumps into bed. Hello, Baldy. With the sticky stuff right by this. See, and Susan thinks that the if you look at the little graphics that Xenogames put up on his post, she thinks that she was providing something wholesome so we could depict glasses of milk while we make our posts. Little does she realize that's sticky stuff. No, there's swimmers in there, Susan. Thank you for that. Can you at least give us a hint if it's an older series or a newer one? Chrome says. I would if I knew exactly the year it came out. I'm not even 100% sure. I would say it's probably on the newer side, but I never bothered to look up, what year it came out. Wolverine says, I love cocaine. A bunch of Spaz Kids head in. Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking, Chrome. She says, eventually you're going to get the cup of milk symbol banned from existence. That'll be funny when people start bitching about why can't I put the glass of milk icon up anymore? Where did it go? And YouTube has to explain it's because a bunch of people over at Spaz Boys turned it into something perverted. They ruined it. Let's see. Kev K says, do you agree with the idea that Naruto and Naruto Shippuden were fantastic until the final war arc? No, because I personally believe that they were fantastic throughout. Were there faults with the final war arc? Sure. Is it a strong case that many people have suggested that maybe Madara should have been the final villain, the boss villain? I can sympathize with that, but I still enjoyed it all the way through. Do a prank on Spaz Kid, Bjorn? I'd have to do it quick. He's going to be going to college in 2 days, right, bud? Yeah, today's Friday. That's rude. Was that? Oh, was it a prank if I just chuck something? I don't even have anything to chuck at you. Oh, he's got his noise cancelers on now. It's all over.
Keeping an ear out just to make.
Oh, he's keeping an ear out just in case something you don't want to get snuck up on.
Like sleeping with one eye open.
So Gio says they didn't censor cocaine. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, we all know, Sajil. Everybody knows that the censorship bots of YouTube, there's no rhyme or reason to them. You can't figure them out. It's just very random. Hey, hi, Rise. Chrome says, there's good things in the war arc. Kaguya still feels like an asshole, even though I know the thing about Legend of the Moon, Princess Kaguya. Yeah, that's what I mean, Chrome. I was satisfied with it. I enjoyed it. Granted, too, I was very early on in my anime nerddom at the time, but I enjoyed it a lot. And again, I think some of the criticism is fair. And as I said, I think Madara was a better villain than Kaguya. So having had it structured so he could be the final villain probably would have made more sense. I don't know about made more sense, but maybe would have made for an even better climax. I don't know. But I was happy with it all. My favorite type of music, Connor? I like a little bit of everything, but except country. Not a country well, I can't even say that. Some older country I like. But typically I like a lot of classic rock and like a lot of more easy listening, whether it's classic or current or whatever it is. I typically when I'm listening to music, it's to chill. Once in a while, I'll listen to it to work out. Usually I don't need music to work out with, and that'll go more upbeat, more fast paced with. But for the most part, it's kind of chill, that music that I enjoy. Nathan says, why is nudity censored much more in media than graphic violence? Because we have a weird priority system here in America, Nathan. It's just really bizarre. I don't know what's so utterly horrifying about, well, I know it's utterly horrifying about my naked body, but I don't know what's so utterly horrifying about naked bodies in general, but who knows? Sino Game says, just for the sticky stuff on Spaz Kid content. Pizza rolls are Italian gushers, Smart Claire says. Oink says, you say there's a stereotype about Irish people eating potatoes, but from what I've heard, there's been times when they specifically don't eat any potatoes. Well, during the potato famine. In Irish land, huh, Spaz Kid? Yeah. No, but there's clear, it's definitely a stereotype that they like to eat their potatoes. And that comes from all the way back in the days. The stereotype here in America about it, because the Irish built a big hunk of the railway system in America. They used to call them terriers because they had red hair and stuff like that. And I know it dates all the way back to that. They, they like to eat their potatoes. Plus, it was the major crop in Ireland. Wolverine says Kaguya would have been an amazing villain if she were a movie villain. As a character in the manga, it was an ass pull. Kishimoto had no idea on how to beat Madara. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. Big Green says, yeah, that's right. The potato famine kept him from eating potatoes. Indeed. I really hate country for only one reason. Punster says, my mom blasts that every time she comes out of the country. Oh, country music. Gotcha. Every time she comes out of the shower. Oh, and also, don't get any ideas about my mom, Curtis. Too late. No. Yeah, I'm not a country fan. I like some of the older country music. I like Johnny Cash. I like Willie Nelson. And I guess there's some of it now that's even listenable. It went through a really long phase where country music was all too much twanging and whining. And I just bailed because of that. Enzo, good to see you, pal. Well, I click on the stream, and the first thing I see is Spaz Kid flipping me off. Much appreciated. Now, see, Spaz Kid, you threw that finger out there, and you got collateral damage. You hit Enzo with it, and you didn't even mean to. And now he's gaming. He doesn't give a fuck what I'm saying. Look at him. AKDN, Sasuke and Naruto could have just sealed Madara by touching him. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you got hit by collateral, Enzo. It's a dangerous place in here. It really is. I'm gonna be an SJW and be upset about the way things go on here. Have you seen the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Japanese dub? No, I haven't, Sean. I haven't seen Yu-Gi-Oh! All I've seen of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Little Kuribo's abridgment. That's all I've seen. When Naruto and Sasuke were going to fight Madara, Grass is on very wrong, says they were really confident in Shoei. When Kaguya showed up, they were crapping themselves. Yeah, it's true. Sweet Home Alabama. That's a great song, big screen. Chrome says, also still working on the new intro. Found out for some reason Adobe are morons and did something mind-numbing stupid with the textures. They're different between modeled and rigged. Oh, geez. Sometimes it seems like, and I go through that with the different softwares I use as well for different things. Sometimes I think some of these companies troll us with their software updates when they make things less intuitive and less user friendly. It seems like this can't be a fucking accident. As Game says, flip off by Spaz Kid, effective damage. Wait, what's this, Ramon? In Mexico, there are French fries that are eaten on a wooden stick. Really, it is kind of like shish kebab type thing on French fries. I didn't know that. That sounds kind of cool. Listen, if it's French fry like, I'm on board. I would try it. you never have to convince me to eat French fries. I'd never seen that before though. Country roads take me home. Good song, Lex. My favorite type of game to play, again, Leslie, I don't really have much of anything. I don't have favorites by type. Again, if it's just fun to me, like I love Minecraft, and now playing that Fall Guys has been a ton of fun. I love Call of Duty. It's all over the place. Just certain things strike me certain ways, but I don't really have a specific genre that's a favorite. Steve says anus. Brother, he says, Curtis, what do you think about the Fortnite versus Apple showdown going on? You think Fortnite is going to cause a rift to Apple's monopoly on the App Store after Apple fell for their bait? I don't know much about it, Brother E. I saw bits and pieces of it being discussed on social media, but I don't really know all the details to be able to really comment on it. Again, I know something exists between them, but I don't really have a lot of knowledge about what exactly. My favorite board game. I always liked Monopoly when I was a kid. Now, as I got older, which you'd think would be the other way around, and chess. I was a chess fanatic when I was a kid, and don't play either one of them anymore because I've gotten too impatient. So I don't even know that I have a favorite board game anymore. I like games or I like entertainment where stuff keeps moving. And yeah, I can't even think of one. But it's funny, you'd think, especially at my age, I'm getting closer and closer, really close to 60. You'd think you'd start relaxing and wanting things that you can take your time with. Hey, let's sit in the park and play chess all day. But I don't. I like stuff to keep going. Satchel says, woke up still high from last night. Say something funny. Appendages. That's a funny word. Sean K, favorite place in the Adirondacks, lakes, parks. Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry. I got tickle on my nose. I don't know. I haven't. I'm not a big park guy. We've been to most of the lakes in our region. I don't. Again, not something that I have a favorite. I'm not big on being somebody who grew up in the country and was always outside. Maybe that is why, though. I'm not as big on the outdoors. I mean, if my wife says, "Hey, let's go to the lake for the day or something," I'll go and I'll have a good time. But it's rarely something that I will look to do myself. And again, maybe I just burn out on it because as a kid, that's all I did every day. You got out in the morning, I went outside to play, and you came in. I was gonna say at dark, but usually after dark. There was when I was little, there was a creek that ran right by our house. I was always down in there playing. There was a big hill, so we rented an old farmhouse. The doctor owned it and rented it out, and there was a big hill on the other side. And at the top of the hill, there was a pond, so we could go up there and fish or swim or whatever we want. And I was just always outside, always out in nature. We'd go out. There was a big hill behind the house. It was almost a mountain. You get on the side of the hill, and the big vines would grow from the trees. So my cousin and I would take a hatchet out there, cut the end of the vine off, and swing out. And you'd get pretty fucking. If those vines ever let go, we'd have been killed. The stupid shit we used to do. But as I grew up, it's like, okay, I think I've had my fill of that. Now I'm staying in the house, or I'm doing indoor things. Put it that way. Unless it's to go outside and play baseball, to play sports. But as far as going out into the wilderness, nah. Jonathan says a video in my recommended has a thumbnail of a little white boy, and the title says, "Can I pet your titties?" Jesus. It's a legitimate question. You might get a yes here or there, and then the kid scores. Chrome says, like I applied the new textures to the rig model, and then find your mouth coming out of your ass. Whoa, that's hits a little too close to home, Chrome. That software might be more intuitive than you think. I need to move the UV shells to fix it. So stupid. Then there's the whole tries instead of quads things. Oh shit. Yeah, but the mouth coming out of my ass, that might not have been an error. Biggest greenest needs to pee. Bring us with you. We're all friends here. Yeah, brother, he says, no, you mean jerk off. Let's see, Straga. I like older country. Yep, me too. Rock and roll, me too. Very specific rappers within the rap rock genre. Yeah, there's some hip hop I like. And by old country, I mean Marty Robbins, Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, etc. Also quite fond of folk music. Oh, you would love Straga. I up in Saratoga Springs, New York. There's a place called Cafe Lena. Bob Dylan used to play there regularly. Oh my gosh, another great act of that era. What's his name? It's gone right out of my head. Folk music icon. If you're into it, if you mention it, I'll remember his name if it said. But anyway, I used to go up there. They were nice people, hippies, nice hippies. And when I was doing stand-up, they'd had an open mic up there. And I didn't like doing stand-up or my open mics to work out new material at comedy clubs because other comics are just sitting around in the audience and they're not my intended audience. I wanted to find people who were regular people from, that would walk into a show. So I used to go up there to work out new material. I was in there all the time. That's going to drive me nuts. So that other, he was around the same era as Dylan. Arlo Guthrie finally came. Arlo Guthrie played there. Bob Dylan. So, and they still to this day, that's their main course there. It's still open. Still have all kinds of great acts come in there. Xeno Game says, Imagine a board game just around in 2020. That'll take long to complete. Oh yeah.
I think they already made that.
Did they a board game of 2020?
I think so.
Spaz Kid said he thinks it already exists. Spaz Kid is a board game aficionado. He's got a lot of them. He's big into it. Him and his in the long ago days when they could all gather together, him and his buddies at college played all kinds of board games, and we still play them here. You know, we'll have friends over and play board games here. But Spaz Kid, he keeps his finger on the pulse of the whole board game community. Wolverine says check last post. Let's see. Oh, check your email after the stream. I'll take a screenshot of the $50 donation. We can use that reference for the new name. Please edit out my email. It won't do it any good right now, Wolverine. And I've got to stream using my third-party software. I can't show anything to anybody. And see, if I'm not using my third-party software, I can't just take a picture file or another window in the window and put it up here. That's right. We still got. I'm really kind of waiting. I would like to actually have the debate about the new $50 donation color and what it should be called, since it's clearly not magenta anymore. I want to wait until our girl M can be in with us, because M was at the forefront of that whole fight. I mean, she fought to protect magenta with all she was worth, and so I think if there's going to be another battle, she should be allowed to be here and take part. So if you guys see her over at the Discord or anything, ask her, because I know she's busy, and I completely get that. But if she can make a chat stream at some point, come on in, because she needs to take the reins on this and see where we're going with the new $50 donation. Morgan says, next post. Okay. Oh, here we go. Curtis, I haven't had a panic attack in 2 weeks, and I'm buying my first car, so in progress. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Morgan. I'm really glad to hear that. Good for you. What I want to do, and I would never mention this except Morgan is apparently comfortable with it. Morgan and I were talking in private messaging about her dealing with panic attacks. And I had talked to her about the idea of hypnosis and hypnotic techniques that can help with that stuff. It's not even necessarily full-blown hypnosis, going under somnambulism type thing. But what I decided to do, I thought would be best, is I'll make kind of an instructional video about how you go about dealing with those things. And then I got thinking, there's so many people that deal with that. When I do it, I don't want to say Morgan's name. I'll just make it more generic, and I'll post it for everyone else as well. But I'm really glad to hear that. I hope you continue on that path. That's something with panic attacks, I believe anyway. I think that's something you can, if you can get past it, because it is, and we all deal with it. All of us have the mind bugs, the things that get to us. But if you can get past it, I think it's something you can defeat for the rest of your life and not be bothered by it. And I hope that's where you get to. Punster says it's not magenta. It's pink with a little period blood. But I'll try and do that, guys. It's so, and again, I know I complain about this all the time like a little bitch, but it's so pressed for time now with getting stuff ready for vacation and everything. But I'll try and make that video, and I'll make it there for everybody. Again, as long as Morgan is obviously comfortable with discussing it. That's why I never brought it up prior to this, because I didn't know if she was. You get panic attacks too, Mr. Shank? It's very commonplace. Very commonplace. That's one thing for anybody dealing with them. And if nothing else, don't feel alone, because even I haven't for years. I haven't tried to procure hypnosis jobs. I'm not looking to do on stage other than like I did for Spaz Kids School and stuff like that, and not looking to do clinical hypnosis. And yet to this day, I get requests for dealing with panic attacks more often than anything else. So there's a lot of people sharing that issue, and there's nothing to be ashamed about, because again, trust me, every single one of us has those little brain bugs of some sort. We all do. Just some of us are fortunate to not have them manifest themselves in as debilitating a manner. That's all. Laver says, ask the boy if he knows Betrayal, The House on the Hill. You ever heard of that, Brax?
Yeah, I've heard of that one. I never played it.
Never played it?
But I heard it's really good, and I've never played it before.
And I don't know if you could hear him, Lifer. He said he knows of it. He knows the title, but he's never played it. And Lifer says, best board game made by Wizards on the Coast. D&D and Magic the Gathering published. Oh, okay. Yeah, most of them he'll have heard of because anytime we've got one down in Albany. One down in yeah, that was specific. We've got a game board shop down in Albany we go to regularly. But anytime, we find one anywhere, we always go in and he looks through everything. So a lot of them he's heard of, even if he hasn't seen them. Let's see. There's the dinosaur. Yeah, the dinosaur came in. You can tell because the fucking camera starts bobbing up and down and everything when the big load comes through. What are you staring at me for? Because I'm talking about you? Should call me a big load, you asshole. I know you're asleep. Hi, Lauren. My cousin Leo is a big fan of yours. He's rather upset right now as his dog's in the vets after being forced to ingest chocolate by his horrid aunt. Please go to shop. Absolutely. Oh, that's awful. Why the fuck would somebody do that to a dog? Jesus Christ. That's terrible. Oh man. I hope nothing but best for the dog. I hope the vet's able to take care of it. What the fuck? But as far as the shout out, absolutely hi, Leo. And I hope all the best with your dog. I genuinely do. I hope everything works out okay for you. I don't know. I don't want to comment too much because I don't know the parameters and I don't want to overstep. But who the fuck would intentionally give a dog chocolate to watch it suffer? Yeah, yeah, I got kind of a fucking problem with that. But Leo, absolute very, very best to your dog. I hope everything works out with him. And Lauren, if you would, you or Leo, just you don't have to do a super chat. Try and keep us posted in the chat. Let us know. I hope everything works out with the dog. Okay, that's pretty. Yeah, I don't want to get. I don't want to get too deep into it because I'm gonna get pissed off. I can feel it. You guys want to see the doggo? I mean, yeah, that's what I mean, Big Green. Who in the world doesn't know that a dog's not supposed to eat chocolate? How can you be a pet owner and not be aware of that? That's like dangerous food item number one to a dog. Come here, everybody wants to see you. Come here, Nopes. Okay, I'll get up if I have to. Can you come up? You don't like coming up? You like me to stand up here? Can you give me a pause? Come on, you big dope. Jesus Christ, can you get a little heavier? What are you doing? Come put your feet under you think. You are so lazy. You say hi to everybody? Apple Mike, fucking move, Apple Mike. How come you don't put your legs up? Are you camera shy? Oh, you poor baby. Huh? You poor baby. All right, Giant, you can go lay down. I'm done bothering you. Lazy ass. I put her in pause and she wouldn't even push with her legs. She just like that. I don't wanna. It's nap time. Sajil says, Curtis, you're such a goon. Thanks for letting me borrow your Escalade for that job interview. I'll return it next week. You're the best. Yeah, I wish I had an Escalade, Sajil. Holy shit. The dinosaur came in with Curtis, you're already there. Oh, painful but true. Cheap jump scare. You guys are funny. Maya and Fiona, the Mexican and Texan, yeah, they're doing good. They're downstairs. I actually don't know what happened. This was a couple months ago. Maya, the little Mexican dog, started acting strange and just seemed out of it. Wasn't eating. I mean, she would eat, but not much and everything. And I've had dogs my whole life, and it's like, and she's getting old. And I was like, I think we might be getting near the end here. And so because she was always Brax's dog, so I prepared him. I said, listen, buddy, I said, I've seen this before with dogs. I just want you to be prepared in case things go downhill. She wasn't showing any signs of being in pain or anything, just a lot of confusion and a lot of loginess. But then all of a sudden she just popped right back up. She was just like, okay, I'm good again. and she's been fine since. So I'm thinking she must have just had some sort of bug or something. Let's see. Brother says, "Hey Curtis, I think you should react to Himiko Toga kidnapped you. It's a 360-degree VR chat video. It's incredibly amazing. I bet you really like it." Yeah, I think being kidnapped by Toga would be just fine with me. Yeah, I'd be good with that. Spicy chicken nuggets. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's nice to say. Yeah, brother. He says, "Horrid Ant made top 5 anime villains at rapid pace." Absolutely. That's just beyond fucked up. I mean, and to do that to an innocent animal like that doesn't know any better and only eats the chocolate because they're willing to put their entire trust into a person that you have their best interests at heart. That's messed up. That's really messed up. Oink says, "Ooh, only time I have had a panic attack was when I was kayaking and the fucking thing flipped over. I luckily ended up being fine." That would be a scary situation. I don't know that I've ever had a specific panic attack. I mean, I've been in tight, tense situations. I wouldn't call them panic attacks, just from my perspective. And again, that's just the luck of the draw with the whole hypnosis and everything. One of the things, and it's one of the things that if I make videos like that, I would try and impart to you guys. One of the triggers you want to have in your life, I found that helps you a lot, is if it becomes a part of your actual being, the way that you look at things, that you know that whenever push comes to shove, and this is beyond having panic attacks, that's a separate issue. I'm not saying that. But I mean, when there's a legitimate threat, the most important thing is to take a breath and avoid that panic. Take a breath, take a focus. Like you say, with the kayak incident, as difficult as it is, with water splashing in your face, with you're not sure how you're going to get to shore. How do I grab the kayak? Do I swim? Do I do this? Do I do that? You need to be able to have a trigger in your mind that you set there that will tell you to calm down. Because when you calm down is 9 times out of 10 when you can find a way out. And I know that sounds easier said than done, but it really is rather easy. If you convince your subconscious, because that's what takes over in those moments, that your trigger, when you're faced with an uncertainty and you're in a bad situation, when your trigger is to calm down, like I say, you get that breath, okay, let me see what's happening here. And you know, there's a sense of urgency, but you take in everything around you, see everything that's going on so that you can find your best possible immediate solution. Because once you do start to panic, and again, that's not panic attack, that's different. This type of panic is warranted. It's because you're in a dangerous situation. If you can avoid panic in that situation, your chances of survival increase exponentially. Xenogame says, "I have so many petitions about dogs, and I have had enough of what people do to dogs lately. Someone burned an eye and broke the dog's legs. Disgusting. I can't. Jesus Christ! I just can't even imagine." Whoa! And again, of all things, an animal that's just put all their trust into you. That, yeah. Oh, thanks, Cheap Jump Scare. The good old pear icon. That fruit's looking dummy thick. It is, Lifer. You are correct. Sajil says, "What do you do when you're thinking about porn but too tired to jerk it?" I can't help you, brother. I've never gotten that tired. I've always risen to that occasion when porn's around. Morgan Ecker says, "For me, the panic attacks literally come out of nowhere, but it seems to happen more when I am at a restaurant. I have no idea why. I love dining out." And that, exactly, Morgan. That's what I was trying to explain. That's the difference between what Morgan's describing there is a classic panic attack, because, like she says, it comes out of nowhere, and it's unfortunately a result of her subconscious. And typically, now again, guys, the only things I will tell you, because I enjoy talking about this because of all my years of doing hypnosis and trying to help people with this stuff. I don't have an education in this field or anything, and I don't want anyone to think differently. So the only things I will tell you are very generic things. I don't give specific advices that, could be detrimental to some people. But what I can tell you is what Morgan describes there. A lot of times you say you love dining, but it happens in restaurants. A lot of times that's part of that subconscious trigger. It's just because it's many times it's because it happened to you before in a restaurant, and even though you're not conscious of it, your subconscious is seeing similar circumstances again, and it knows that you had that panic attack there. Now, where it came from, sometimes in my experiences, could be nothing, just it's a part of your being. Other times it could be because you experienced something traumatic in that situation prior and you may not even remember it. But that's what Morgan's talking about, is classic panic attacks. What we're talking about in a situation where your life is in danger, that's not a panic attack. It's panic, but it's justified panic by the situation. What Morgan's talking about is being victimized by your own subconscious. Brother, he says, don't you ever want to take all your enemies and break their necks with a few botched Owen Hart pile drivers? I think that a few times, especially at work. I think we all do, Brother E. I think we all do. I was always so disappointed in Owen Hart that that's inexcusable what he did to Austin. You can't go through with that move. That was just, that was terrible. Morgan says, so true. I absolutely agree. I'm now afraid of it happening while I'm away from home. I can be excited about something, but still panic now. Like, what the fuck? And that's what it is, Morgan. And that's why that's why hypnosis and self-hypnosis can come in handy, because the first thing to understand is that's your subconscious playing with you. And your conscious mind is aware of what your subconscious does, and that's where the fear comes from. And those types of things tend to exacerbate themselves. But when you start practicing the ability to go into that, it's not really hypnotic state, but it's almost like a pre-hypnotic state where you've calmed yourself down. Typically, your heart rate will go down in this state, and you can focus that subconscious into something else. That's when you can start to dominate it, usually. Take away the things that you don't want to be there. Hey, Tracker, Wholesome Juice is here. Yeah, what's good, Pops? I finished my route FedEx, and I'm so glad I don't have to work night shift like in my old job. Oh, you're working for FedEx? Cool. Oh, very good. Glad to have you here, pal. I'm glad you got in. Reverend Dickey says, I did realize that part of the panic attacks was the fear of fear itself. That's very true. I have to force myself to believe that I won't have an attack. You're right. And the more you can convince your subconscious, when you can start having almost a dialogue with your subconscious, when you can get into those relaxed spots where you can take a couple deep breaths, start to see, I like to call it, you can close your eyes and see that tunnel that leads to any place you want it to take you. And your subconscious will do that. It'll take you any place you want to go. And when you can start to get there and get there easily, you can start retraining your subconscious to where it no longer desires to give you that stress in that specific situation. It's over 9,000, AJ says. Yeah, for a lot of people too, Ocho. For me, stress is the best way of triggering my panic attacks. It's one of the worst feelings ever. Yeah. Stress is a killer, a literal killer. It's a huge cause of panic attacks. Obviously, a huge cause for heart attacks, strokes, all kinds of debilitating episodes. Stress is just insanely deadly. You can't overstate how much stress violates us in our day-to-day lives. It's pretty terrifying, actually. Brother says, I can never seem to get away from the horror of the world 2 weeks ago. My dog died. Oh, that's sad. As well as my uncle. Jeez. Then my brother fell on a table and almost ended up dying. Now my best friend is in the hospital. It's tough, brothers, when you get points in life where sometimes you'll have a string where it's just like, this is just unfucking believable. This can't keep happening. This much shit can't go wrong. And it gets difficult. And that's where you just gotta work towards trying to find that something inside you that will let you see better days are to come, and be able to focus on the people that are still with you, like supporting your brother in his rehab, your best friend, same thing there. I can relate a story to you, and it's just my own way of dealing with things. And this is one case where I found out later it worked well and it made me happy. We had I may have told you guys this story. we had a guy that worked with us where I worked, the local city I worked for. His name was Carlos. Good dude. Really liked him. And he was having health issues. He was not quite or barely 40 at the time, and he was having heart related issues. And so one night I was at home, and Carlos and I was always busting his balls. That was our relationship. I was constantly on him. And he was a Puerto Rican guy, and of course that became a lot of my ammo. He would come in. We'd come in the morning on the days he would fill in and work on the sanitation department with us. He'd come in the morning. He'd see me and go, "All right, just get it over with. Just say it." I said, "Carlos, what do you mean? Say what?" He goes, "Stop it." He says, "You know you're going to say something snotty, something douchey." He said, just do it. Just say it to me and get it over with." I said, "Carlos, you got me all wrong." I said, "As a matter of fact, I think it's really great that the city is willing to hire, people like you." And he would go up. But I mean, that was our relationship. So one day I get a call from our union president, and he says, "Hey, I just want to let you know," he says, "Carlos is in the hospital." I said, "What?" He says he's going to be okay, but I just want to let you know, I know you and him were close. So I said, well, yeah, fuck that. So I wanted to see him. So I go driving down the hospital. They wouldn't let me in. They said it was family only. I said, well, I'm his first cousin. Is that good enough? And now Carlos, Puerto Rican guy, fairly dark-skinned Puerto Rican guy, and me is so white I'm almost transparent. And the nurses were like, they didn't believe me, but they're like, "You're his cousin?" I said, "Ask." I said, I gave my name. I said, "Ask him." And he goes, "Yeah, that's my cousin." And we're all like, wink, wink, nod, nod, because we all knew we were lying, but the nurses were cool and they let me go in and see him. So they let me in his room and we're chatting a little bit. And I said, Carlos, I'm going to fix you. He goes, "Don't start." He goes, "Leave me alone," because he's in intensive care. I said, No. And I go over to, there's all the shit on the walls, with different valves and buttons. I said, "I'm going to turn all this stuff on as high as it'll go. You'll be better in 5 minutes. We'll leave. We'll have a burger." He goes, "Don't touch that shit." I said, "Shut up, Carlos. I know what I'm doing." And I pretend I'm twisting knobs and stuff. And he's getting the nurse call thing in his hand. I said, "Wait, you going to call a fucking nurse on me, a narc?" I said, "Stop being a rat and just accept my assistance." And, to me, that was funny. But Carlos said to me, and then his cousin reiterated it sometime, because unfortunately Carlos ended up passing away at 41. His cousin reiterated it to me that Carlos had mentioned how it just made him feel good because everybody was concerned about him. Everybody comes in and they're so somber and sad. And he said sometimes it makes it worse. And he said, and then Rusty comes in and he's just an asshole like he always is, and he didn't treat me any different. And it made me feel good that I didn't do it for that reason. It's just I'm instinctively an asshole, but in that case, it worked. Wolverine says, "See last post, please." Think of taking a few psychology classes. Love psychology. I'm by no means a therapist, but if I can help anyone with certain things mentally, I'd love to help. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Of course, with hypnosis crosses over, is part of the psychological field. And I will, things I learned from hypnosis, I'll be glad to share with you guys all day long. I never cross over into giving advice that could also have a detrimental side. If I give you any advice, it's stuff that can't hurt you and can only help you. Lauren, I just got a call from Leo. They've got half the chocolate out of Lily's system and she is doing well. We'll keep her there for a few days once they get the rest out. So it looks like she'll be okay. Oh, that's cool. Well, seriously, Lauren, tell Leo we're happy for him, and not just me. You got a whole gang here who is happy for him and is rooting for him. I don't know what the deal is with the aunt, and I don't want to make any statements or go into any detail about your own family, but that's fucked up. I don't know what the problem is there, but somebody needs to straighten the aunt out substantially. Gimster says, "If only all that hypnosis talk you did can help me with all those Mr. Popo night terrors you gave me." Well, that's part of hypnosis, Gimster. It doesn't have to be used for good. Once you're inside somebody's head, you got to play around with this stuff a little bit. Goose Gang indeed, games. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad the dog's going to be okay. That's unimaginable to me. It just really is. How somebody would victimize a dog. Kill stress in the ass, AJ says. Leslie says, "In Mexico, I've seen people beating super skinny stray dogs to shoo them away. I find it sad because they probably just want food to eat." Oh, absolutely, Leslie. Yeah, they're just trying to survive. That's all they're doing is just trying to find some food and survive. You're right. It is sad. All right, guys. Well, I got to go. This was, again, another brilliant and fun Free for All Friday stream. I appreciate you guys being in with me. This was so much fun. I will try and get that video done talking about panic attacks and everything. But goddamn, you guys made my day. I look so forward to Fridays. And again, I do the same schedule every day, 7 days a week, up at 5:30. Start, doing things for the Goose and the channel. So Fridays don't really have a specific meaning for me other than now. Then I love Free for All Fridays. That's why I look forward to it. So thank you guys for making it. And here it comes. Here comes the sticky stuff. You're right. And as always, this is the premium sticky stuff. I know everybody's gathered around. Don't push. Don't push. Listen, even at my age, there's going to be plenty of sticky stuff for everybody. I don't want anybody to get pushed down. I don't want anybody to get poked in the eye. If something's going to get in the eye, it better be the sticky stuff because this is the good shit. Cheers to the Goose Gang, Zeno says. Yeah, this is the good stuff. You don't even mind if it gets in your eye. You'll enjoy this thing. So here it comes. Pampu, sticky stuff, Free for All Friday, high quality, top premium sticky stuff for everybody because we'll bang, okay? Flashly like Buggy. And as always, most importantly, please, whatever you do, never forget. Goose. Goose.